All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Scootsy16 with Super Mega Baseball 4 and my Windy City Thunderbolts franchise. This is a simulated franchise, and if you missed either of the past two videos, go ahead and check the description of this video where you can find the playlist and encourage you to watch, catch up, and also give me some feedback. This is new to me, so excited to hear what all of you have to say, the good, the bad, the ugly. Happy to hear any feedback that you have as we go through this. But if you did catch our last two videos, we did a shuffle draft. We created an entire new Super Mega Legend League, excuse me. As you can see here, our Windy City Thunderbolts are not starting off so hot, but I have confidence for our future. Last time we watched our first game of the season, it was against the Waikiki Wideloads, and we kicked their butt and knocked Ace Von Asen off a pedestal, if you will, and took our first win. Unfortunately, things did not look good after that, as we only had two more wins for the rest of the 9 games that we simulated, and we left off waiting to start off against the Green Bay Grapplers. We're going to watch that game as that is a division game. Before we get into that, I just wanted to let you know, if you missed it, we did make our first transaction of the season. We signed David Stiffbottom in replace of Hiro Misano. Wanted a little bit more depth in our starting rotation. I also took another look at our signing and release options and made a few decisions on some other changes I would like to make. So let's run through those again. Nothing is ready right now just because everyone is still completely overvalued. But we're planning to bring in 2 new second basemen. One, Willie Randolph, who we plan to replace our current starting second baseman, Camden Gilmore, with Willie Randolph, getting a little younger there, improving in contact speed and fielding. Camden is not having a good start to the season, even though he has that maxed out RBI hero. He has just not been playing well. I'm sure that would change, but for right now, this looks like it's going to be an upgrade for us once we can make that move. In addition to Willie Randolph, we're also going to be adding Elroy Action, excuse me, and he will be coming in to replace Rick Burleson. This would get us much younger. This would give us some more speed on the team. Looking forward to seeing him come in. In addition to Elroy Action, we do plan to replace our shortstop too. We have Kara Pickles here, who's younger, and she would be coming in to replace Arsenio Cardenas. Again, nothing wrong with him, but this just looks like it would be an upgrade for us pretty much across the board. Slight decrease in speed, but something that shouldn't hurt us too bad. In addition to Kara Pickles, we will look to add Cash Basquet. That hasn't changed since the last time we spoke, where Cash is going to come in to replace Pumper Lupkins. That would be a bit of a platoon that we'd be putting together with Spitz McKinney, and also would be kind of the heir to the left fielder throne that Spitz is currently sitting on once he starts to decline, or if he decides to retire in the off season. So that'll be a nice little upgrade for us and get us younger once again. And then we will also be looking to add Track Statsman, who will replace surprise player so far. Aria Combs has been playing well, but Track is, of course, a big upgrade and a couple years younger, so this would be nice to have on the team as well. So looking forward to seeing that one. And lastly, we're looking to have Mackenzie Perry join us. 19-year-old lefty, has specialists, so that's against the lefties. And she would be replacing Marv Knockmore, who is 39, has specialists as well, so we're not losing that trait. And Mackenzie's just a much better option for development, and I just think that that'll be a good little option to add. Plus, she also has composed, which once we do all of the changes here, we will be at tier 2 for competitive. We'll still be at tier 3 for spirited and disciplined. We will be knocked down to the first tier for scholarly, and we will be staying at tier 2 for crafty. So that's what all the tinkering will look like. But let's go ahead and get started with this next game here against the Green Bay Grapplers. versus the Windy City Thunderbolts. So reminiscent of those Brewers versus Cubs games, but let's go ahead and see what the suggested lineup is, and I might make a few changes based on that as well. I think I'm going to go ahead and replace Hart with Digit just because he's currently on fire, and I think we take advantage of that while we have it. Not bad arm with that on fire bumped up there. We'll keep you at second base, Camden. We'll keep you at the bottom since you're not doing well. Arsenio, you're fine there. Tish, I guess, is fine here. Aria and right. Just looking through everything. I do think we bring back in Prince, put Prince at the top of the order here, just like we had before. I liked Spitz being right there, and then we do the David Ortiz and Beefcake McStevens combo. Beefcake's having a better start to the year. David is struggling a bit. We're hoping that can be turned around with today's performance, but let's go ahead and kind of change up the mojo again. So we're playing at home. We'll use our other home uniform here, and we will be facing off against the Green Bay Grapplers, who do have a nice piece or two here. I'm a big Dano Yoshida fan, and they have him locked in, as well as a few of their other players are locked in today too. But let's go ahead and see how this game plays out. As I did with the last one, I'll commentate through this as much as possible, but won't be commentating every pitch, just because the game moves so much faster when you're simming versus when you're playing. So I'll keep up as much as I can. This Green Bay Grapplers team is leading the division right now, so they're running hot to start the season, and we're just hoping not only can Cecil Sawyer here stop a couple of rallies, but hopefully he can also stop this run that the Grapplers have been on, and hopefully turn our season around a little bit. I know we have a long way to go, but you never want to start off so slow. It looks like the Grapplers have maxed out their discipline traits, and quick note, you will see that our discipline is not fully maxed out. That's because we did make that change in the rotation. It will get fixed eventually, but for a few games here, we will be looking at tier 2 for the discipline traits. One of Cecil's perks is his rally stopper, which kicks in when there's 2 runners on, and that's really where he turns it to another gear. And hopefully we don't even see him have to activate that today, because it means that he's having a good game, but it won't be too bad if he ends up having to. Spitz gets to that one pretty quickly, and there's a runner on with 2 outs. And here comes their number 4 hitter, Jack Clark. He's locked in as well. He's been having a good season, batting .395 with 4 home runs already in 9 games. Bites off the first pitch. Takes inside. He gets a hold of that one. We're hoping that we can get to it. And yeah, it looks like Prince is able to get to that one for out number 3. So base hit in the first doesn't go anywhere. And our first time to get some at-bats here in this game. And really am hoping that Prince can get things going here. I like having him on the team. I like his skills, but we need to get that mojo back up. And that one squeaks through past the second baseman, and he gets a base hit here. So he's on. As you may have heard in previous videos, one of the strategies I'm trying to see implemented and executed is using that stealer trait to our advantage. Oh, and just like that, we get a second base hit in almost the exact same spot. Their second baseman doesn't have a lot of range, it looks like, so maybe we can keep taking advantage of that. 2 on, no outs, and here comes Beefcake McStevens, our hottest hitter of the year so far. Taking a high pitch for a ball, double steal going, and it was a hit and run, and Beefcake essentially just advances the runners on that one for David Ortiz, who, again, is tense and struggling this year, only batting .200 and only 1 RBI. This would be a great place for him to break out of that with 2 runners in scoring position. Second and third right now. He gets it right to Izzy Baker at second with the infield playing in, and that just like that, there's 2 outs. Justin Morneau coming up is having a pretty decent season so far. We didn't really expect his offense to stand out, but he's got the talent for it. Takes that one inside. Didn't really even talk about Glover Dastardly yet, who has Tier 2 elite changeup, some great velocity, and decent accuracy with below average junk. And that one goes straight to the pitcher for out number 3. And I don't know if you all saw that, but it looks like Justin Morneau hurt himself on that one. So we're going to have to find out what that injury is. Hopefully it's minor. We'll hopefully get an update here, and we might see a change to the lineup. Yep. He's weak. He pulled his hammy. That's going to take a few days to recover. Pumper Lumpkins just comes in, and he gets the first out on a little dribbler to first, which is the best thing we want to see out of Tano Yoshida today. Here comes Chet Schwartz. What a great name that is. He's got the Steeler trait. Don't want that to activate. It's at Tier 2 as well. Takes outside for a ball. And swings right through that one for Cecil Sawyer's second strikeout in 2 innings so far. So he's having a good start. Here comes Izzy Baker. We saw him miss a few plays at second base here, but made them when they had to happen. 1-1 is the count. Fouls that one off, and he's down 1-2. But gets a hold of that one, and can it stay in the park? It's right there on the line. Hits the yellow, gets out, and we're down 1-0 on a ball that just made it out. Cecil's not happy about that. He knows he made a mistake, and hopefully that's the only one he makes all game. But we're going to have to fight in this one for sure against a division rival like this. And they do have that off-speed hitter maxed out here, so Cecil, he's going to have to rely on his fastball and his four-seam and his cutter. And this at-bat works a 2-2 count. Swings, fouls that one off. And gets a hold of that one too, but just to the warning track. Spitz McKinney gets it for out number 3. Let's not let this one sit for too long before we can turn it around. Let's get a run to tie this thing back up at the very least. We see Aria Combs has 2 home runs already with some decent power and does have that inside pitch trait. And she's having a better season than I would have expected. She destroyed that ball. It bounces off that batter's eye in the back of dead center, and she just obliterated that. She's trying to stay on the Windy City Thunderbolts. She does not want to leave. A 465-foot bomb on a pitch, a huge mistake from Grover Dastardly. And I said we wanted to get that run back real quick, and she does it in the first at bat of the bottom of the inning. What a great start here for Combs. She really is going to have to she's going to give me something to think about here. And that's a quick out number 1, as Dastardly does not want to stay tense for long. Down goes Cardenas. Here comes Camden Gilmore. He gets a hold of that one. Is it going to get enough? And it does. And all right, the bottom of the order is the one going to carry us this game so far, and that's a really nice thing to see from Camden Gilmore, who has been struggling in the first 9 games. What a weird pronunciation, but Digit Swingins is up. He's on fire, and we gave him the start for that reason, so let's see if he can do something with it. He is essentially maxed out in his contact trait. This was not a guy I really gave much thought to when I picked him up. Had the really good fielding and really good contact, but nothing else. And takes a great at bat for a walk. And we get to the top of the order. Prince Chavez did have a single in the first inning. See if he can kind of keep that going. He is still tense, unfortunately. And that was a hit and run. Fouls it off. With 2 strikes on him, he takes a ball high. And that one, Prince just watches go by. He thought it was a little high. I think it was right at the top of the zone. Definitely too close to take. But here comes Spitz McKinney with 2 outs and a man on first. Takes outside for ball 1. Low ball 2. And just barely makes contact with that one. We're hoping he gets out of play, and it does. Goes foul. 2-1 count. Takes strike 2 down and inside, and swings right through that elite changeup of Dastardly for out number 3. And good news is we did take the lead. 2 of our bottom of the order bats came up big with Arya Combs and Camden Gilmore hitting 1 out, both solo shots in that inning. And maybe that's what Sawyer needed to kind of get back into his zone. Here comes Johnny Damon, who is fast, and that was a little weird. Sawyer could not get to it on his first angle. Tried to reach down and get it, and couldn't get it to first in time. Damon, who was tense, is now back to neutral, and he's got some good speed here, so they might try and take advantage of it. Swings through strike 2, so we get to the top of the order again. Fighting another one off. And he's going, and that was a hit and run, and Cardenas got a hold of that one too. And just like that, we're back down 3-2 as another mistake from Sawyer. Honestly, 2 mistakes in 2 at-bats there, as he took a weird angle to the ball on that little dribbler down the first baseline to allow the runner, and then gives that one up for a 2-run shot, and we're down 3-2 against the Grapplers. We knew this was going to be a fight. That's a base hit to right field just over the second baseman's glove, and another player for the Grapplers is increasing their mojo as Cecil's starting to get a little tense here. We're hoping he can shake through this, and he's going to have to figure something out, because another one that squeaks past the first baseman. I think Morneau makes that play if he's not injured, but Pumper Lumpkins, that's not his primary position. Good news is here, we do get to see Cecil's rally stopper trait kick in, but because he's tense, it doesn't make him much better than his starting point for his skills. He's going to fight through this one. He's laboring a bit, but we know he has the capabilities. There's a nice strike for 2, or swing through for strike 2. He's trying to hit the corners here and missing just slightly. Puts that one low, fouls it off. 3-2 count here with 2 runners on, and he walks them. And this is starting to look a little ugly for Cecil Sawyer with Dano Yoshida coming up, who is still locked in and having a good season, even though he dribbled one to first baseman in the first inning. Or in his last at-bat, at least. We have no outs and the bases loaded. Can Cecil stop this rally? It's going to have to start here. No other choice. Nowhere to put him. 1-2 count. Swings through that one for strike 1, or for out number 1. And that feels good, and we're hoping to kind of capitalize this with Chet Schwartz coming up. A little ground ball out could be huge for us. A little ground double play. And there's a roller to third. It's too slow to try and get 2 outs here. A runner scores, but we do get the out at first, and we're down to 2 outs. We have a runner on second and third, so the rally stopper still stays active. But we got to get Izzy Baker, who did hit a home run in his first at-bat. Fouls that one off, 2-1 count. Really nice pitch from Cecil there for strike 2. Throws it in the dirt, doesn't chase. And stays alive, making contact with that one for a foul. And he swings through for strike 3. So some damage there, but not as bad as it could have been. I'll give Cecil some credit there, but he did give up 3 runs and 4 so far through 3 innings. So our offense is going to have to figure some things out if we're going to be able to stay in this game. I'll say this, not that I'm giving up or anything, but if the game does get out of hand, I will go ahead and sim through the rest of it just because I want our time in these videos to be as meaningful as possible. So we'll see how it goes. And a 4-pitch walk for Beefcake McStevens and throws the bat bouncing off of the air. But we get a base runner here and would be a great place for David Ortiz to kind of change things here for himself. Swings at a low pitch for strike 1. Takes inside ball 1. Swings through strike 2 and swings through strike 3. So David Ortiz just really struggling in this game to start the season, which is really unfortunate. We hope he gets it turned around sooner rather than later. Pumper Lumpkins up here. We definitely wouldn't normally have him in this part of the order, but he is filling in for Justin Morneau. Down 1-2 right now. Takes ball 2. Got 1 out. And ball gets past him. Beefcake took too long to make a decision, and he had to retreat back to first, so we could not advance the runner there. And Pumper loses some mojo, swinging through strike number 3. We're down to 2 outs. But here comes our big bat somehow in the lineup, which is Aria Combs. She comes up, who has been playing really well this year. So let's see if we can capitalize on that. She grounds to second, slow roller over to first for out number 3. So a leadoff 4-pitch walk for Beefcake does nothing, and we head to the top of the 4th. I don't know at this point how long we can let Cecil Sawyer go, and just like that, we're going to be bringing in a locked-in Kendra Kerr, who is about 2/3 stamina, so she won't be able to go too long, but we just dipped into the bullpen way earlier than we would have liked. Long foul down the right field line for strike 2, and a ground ball right to Pumper Lumpkins for out number 1. And here comes their 9-hitter, Johnny Damon, who has maxed out magic hands, but also maxed out noodle arm, which we haven't even seen a chance for that to activate yet, as not a single ball has gone to center field yet, except for that bomb from Aria Combs in the 2nd inning, which no chance for that ball to get thrown back in. Got a 2-2 count with 1 out. And strike 3 from Kendra Kerr, who has been having a really, really great start to the season for us. And the offense is down. As long as the pitching can kind of offset it, that's the only way we can really work these things out. Kendra calls everyone off, and that gets out number 3. So really, really easy inning for her. She's on fire. And can we fight through this one? A bullpen game, essentially, at this point. Can we fight back and make something happen here today? Cardenas gets a nice little start with a liner just past the shortstop for a base hit. Here comes Camden, who somehow is still tense even though he just hit a home run. That's pretty unfortunate. So somehow this mojo, he must have been in real bad shape before this game. Takes ball 2-2. Swings through that one for strike 3, and that's not how we get rid of that bad mojo. Here comes Digit Swingins, who walked in his first plate appearance, Still on fire, grounds that one between short and third. And we have 2 runners on as we wrap to the top of the order. Here comes Prince Chavez, who also is still tense. Not sure why these mojos aren't changing for players that are actually doing something. Oh, lines right to the third baseman, who scoops it right above the ground. Tries to double up at second base, but they were able to get back in time. But good news. Spitz McKinney comes up with 2 outs and has RBI Hero maxed out. Gets a hold of that one with the end of the bat. Pulls another one foul, down 2 strikes already. Ball outside, gets away from the catcher, but not far enough for anyone to be able to advance. We don't have speed on the base pass here. Fights another one off. 1-2 count, two outs here. Spitz takes high, ball 2. Takes outside, ball 3. And can we get... The runners will be moving with a full count and two outs. Oof. And Spitz gets a good hit on that one, but right underneath it, and it just hangs up there for Damon to sit under and catch for out number 3. We head to the top of the 5th. 6 hits apiece, but the Grapplers are making their hits count more than we are. So here we go. Heading into the 5th, and Kendrick Kerr again is on the mound, on fire. That'll hopefully hold off that declining stamina for a few innings, maybe. That one, just over the glove of Camden Gilmore. He could not get enough height on that one. Maybe he just felt a little self-conscious. I don't know. He seemed to hesitate on that jump, but hopefully this doesn't do anything to backfire on us. Fouls that one off for strike 1. So runner on. And here comes Little Hack activated, so his contact goes up pretty significantly. Takes ball 1. 1-2 count here. And that one gets just past Beefcake. Spitz gets it in. The runners advance to first and second here. Here comes their number 4 hitter. Jack Clark is locked in. 0 for 1 with a walk today, so hasn't done too much, but again, we could see that change in the blink of an eye. This one, he gets underneath, and Arya Combs comes in, catches it, and too close for the runners to advance, so we're able to get out number 1, and no damage dealt. I'm feeling a little offended here that he went 0 for 2, or he's gone 0 for 2 so far, and he's still locked in. My guys are hitting home runs, and they can't even get out of tense mojo. Not sure what that's about today. Kendra needs to battle out of this one, too. And Dano gets a tag on that one. That's going to be enough, and that gets out. Kendra's starting to feel that stamina creep up on her. Dano hits a 3-run shot. This game's starting to get out of hand, as we're now down 7-2. Again, only in the 5th inning. But we're going to have to see what we can do here, depending on who comes in after Kendra Kerr, who is all the way back down to neutral after starting this inning on fire, giving up 3 runs in the process. Let's at least get this guy here. Got a 1-2 count with 1 out. Throwing a couple of dirt balls. And Chet is making her work for this one. Lines that one right over first. Arya Combs getting over to it. Chet is not fast enough to be able to stretch that out. And the inning continues. Izzy Baker comes up 1 for 2 with a home run today. And we call in Queen Jimenez for Kendra Kerr. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Queen also sitting at about 2/3 stamina. This is not looking good for this team to start the season. We're hoping that maybe we can make some of these moves and the team sees some steps up, but for right now, it's not looking good. Queen, however, looking like a queen, throwing that one, freezing him up for out number 2. Here comes Stallion Johnson. Has that off-speed hitter maxed out, and gets one there and grounds it just past second for another base hit. And 2 on for Johnny Damon, their number 9 hitter. who is 1 for 2 with a single, but I believe this activates Queen's rally stopper trait, which it does. And while she's tense, she does get Johnny Damon to fly out to center field. Prince camps under that one for out number 3. This team's got to figure something out. When your 3, 4, 5 hitters only count for the 3 and 4 hitter pretty much with Morneau out now. No hits among all of them. We need to figure something out. Oh, and while we were able to get Glover Dastardly out of this, unfortunately we end up having to go over to Immaculo Spectaculo, who gets Beefcake to pop out to third in 1 pitch. David Ortiz comes up. He's rattled now after 2 strikeouts. Luckily, his hitting abilities don't really change regardless of his mojo. We're hoping that'll give him the chance to come back. He's 1 and 2 right now. Swings at that one right at the third baseman. Somehow it didn't catch. They didn't catch it. Has to throw over to first for out number 2. Here comes Pumper. They've thrown 2 righties in this game so far, so we have not seen any lefty traits activate, which I'm now realizing is pretty much exclusively all that I have. And maybe I need to look into making some of those adjustments for those right-handed pitchers, but it all comes down to what options you have available. Pumper strikes out, and our 3, 4, 5 hitters go down in order in the bottom of the 5th. I think I'm going to give this 1 more inning. If after the 6th we don't see anything looking good on our end, I might go ahead and just finish the sim here and move on to some menu work. Simming through a few more games and looking to maybe make one of those signings before we finish this episode. Queen gets a ground out to short there for out number 1, and you see her mojo went up after that one, so she's back to neutral. All right, takes 1 and 1 there. Gets a hold of that one. That's gonna stay. Oh, just barely hits the side of the foul pole, and that's another home run from Vasquez, her 3rd of the season so far. She was locked in before that. She's going to stay locked in, if not on fire. Raynash Loins, 3 for 3 today. Also locked in. I'm going to give the bottom of the inning here a chance for us to make some noise on offense, but if we don't see them do anything in the 6th, I'm gonna sim the rest of this game. Let's get past the end of it. Queen gets some chasing there for out number 2 on a strikeout. And here comes Jack Clark, 0 for 2 with a walk today. So again, has not done much, and we're hoping to keep it that way. But at this point, it might be too little too late with the rest of the lineup doing damage for the Grapplers. 1 and 2 count. Can Queen finish them off here? She's starting to get gassed. Her attributes are really showing that, and lined right past Camden Gilmore, who dives but can't make the play, and there's a double with 2 outs. Here comes Dano Yoshida, who's been doing some damage with that 3-run homer that they had in their last at-bat. Out goes Queen Jimenez, and in comes Withers Hansen, who does have specialist. Also has a rally stopper. So we do have a few rally stoppers, but today there's no stopping the Grapplers rally. And that ball just lands fair behind first base, and the runner comes from first all the way around to score on a single. We go down 9-2. So this is a pretty ugly game. Chet has done nothing today, and can we just get out of this inning so we can see what we can do on offense? So far, the only 2 runs for the Thunderbolts have been solo home runs from the bottom of the order, unlikely candidates. All right, so we get a chasing strike 3, but 2 more runs come across in that inning, and we are down 9-2. Not too long ago, we were tied in hits 6-6, but they quickly went up 14 hits to our 6. So nothing has changed for us. Here comes Combs. Chases that one high, strike 1. Fouls off again, strike 2. Takes that one. We're a 2-2 count. Takes low ball 3. That one just underneath her knees. Swings it at that inside pitch, but goes foul. Makes contact again. And takes another low pitch, but this one just hit the corner for strike 3. Aria, just like that, her mojo drops. Of course it does. Boy, this Grapplers team has a really great. They're a great team. Their pitching is incredible, and they have offense to support them too. So here comes Maggie Klippenstein, who does not have any traits, but is just a great pitcher anyways. Can't get a strike across and walks her first batter she faces. Here comes tense Camden Gilmore. And Cardenas does have some speed at first, but with that arm behind the plate, there's no way he should consider running to get into RBI position for Camden Gilmore. So we'll see how it goes. Chases outside for strike 2. Chases that one as well for out number 2. At least we can rely on Digit Swingins, who is 1 for 1 with a walk in his 2 plate appearances. Still on fire. Takes inside for a strike. Grounds that one slow to second base, who throws over to first for out number 3, and Swingins goes down to locked in mojo, but this is enough for me, and I think I'm going to go ahead and just simulate the rest of this game. We're going to skip to the end and move forward in this season, because that was just enough for me. I don't want to keep watching a game that's just getting out of hand. See what happens. We do score a few more, and Gilmore does hit a 3-run shot to score 5, but they put on some more runs, and this might be a bit of a rebuild that I didn't think was going to be the case to start things. I'm just going to be honest with everyone right now. I hate these manager moments. I try and avoid them at all costs. So when I have to do them, I just don't like seeing them. But we're going to go with Cecil Sawyer only because he's younger. Hank Hart pretty much doesn't have anything left. So we're just going to keep Cecil happy, even though he did not pitch a very good game here. So what do we do now? So what I want to do, is check our valuation differences to see. Willie Randolph is our next one on the docket here, 1.1 million over asking or over their value. So we have some time before we see that one kick in. So for now, let's go ahead and do some more simulation. I'm going to eventually sim up to the 28th game of the season, as that is when we will be facing our next division rival. So we're currently 3-7. I'm going to go ahead and sim the next 10 games. This will include the last 2 against the Grapplers. We have 3 against the Washington Wild Pigs, 2 against the Fayetteville Freebooters, 2 versus the Sawteeths from San Diego, and then 1 against the Miami Moonstars. We're going to fast forward a little bit in this season and see where things are looking. I don't think we'll lose on Willie Randolph just yet. So I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead. Again, we're 3-7, simming 10 games into the future. Let's see where we're at. We went 5-5 in that set of games, which 5 wins, bit of an improvement as to where we were before. We're 2.5 games behind the Rockford Rivets, who have taken the lead in the division, and the Green Bay Grapplers struggled a little bit, but our team is just not where we wanted them to be just yet. Looks like the best team in the Super Conference is the Edmonton Empire at 14-7, while the Mega Conference has the Soul Spirit going 16-5 so far. So we're starting to see some clear runaway teams, but in this game, it never makes sense. You have teams that start off real hot that end up tanking for the rest of the season. Let's see what's happened since our last game here. We see that Spitz did see his speed increase by 1. We have a development opportunity for Nick Dieguez, another one for Cecil Sawyer as well. Arsenio Cardenas takes a huge hit in the fielding department, going minus 13, dropping from 91 fielding down to 78. We see Cash Basket is improving her fielding by 4, and Kara Pickles improved her arm by 1. So they're getting better. These are the players we're watching and we want to see join the team. Let's go ahead and take a look. We didn't have any transactions there, so let's see if anyone's close. Willie is getting closer, now looking at 0.5 for their difference between their asking and their current value. I'm not going to necessarily expect to get all the way down to the 8.4, but I definitely want to drop a couple more, get a little closer to that valuation before I sign them. And then the next person after that will be Cash Basket, who's still 2.2 million. So this will be a bit of a development year, I think, as we're looking to tinker with the team and get closer. Looking at player development, I'm not planning to do this for Kendrick Kerr, not planning to take that risk when she's our best pitcher so far. Nick Dieguez is our ace, and while he does have composed that can offset that falls behind, I also expect to drop down to tier 1 for the scholarly, which would mean that they'll lose 50 accuracy on that first pitch every time. I don't think that's worth it, in my opinion. Digit Swingins, too old. Cecil Sawyer could see an increase here, and I actually think I will do this. David Ortiz, not worth $232,000, just for that +1 power to max that out. Knockmore's too old as well, so I'm going to go ahead and apply this one for Cecil Sawyer. Maybe we get lucky. We see the accuracy go up some more, and we see that composed trait kick in. So let's see what happens. +4 accuracy, +1 contact, doesn't matter. -2 junk is okay. We do not get the +4 accuracy bonus, and we do not get the composed trait. So little by little, Cecil is getting that increase in their accuracy, but we see that the junk is going down to offset that, unfortunately. So still a B. All right. Next thing I want to do, just a quick peek at how the team is playing before we sim the rest of the game. So as we look through the team really quick, we see that Prince is having a little bit better of a season than what he was having before. Spitz is doing all right. Beefcake is still consistently our best hitter, leading the team with 5 home runs. David Ortiz is only slightly doing better than he was before. He now does have 3 home runs. Justin Morneau, hopefully he's healed since that pulled hammy. He's not really doing much either. Aria Combs kind of coming back to life. Senio Cardenas, while he lost some fielding, has the best average on the team, but really not much else outside of that. Camden Gilmore with a 132 average, which is abysmal. And Digit Swingins, as well as Hank Hart, their tandem looks really awful on offense as well. We hop over to the pitching staff, and Dieguez is not looking great as our ace after 5 games, giving up 12 runs to all earned for a 3.95 ERA, 124 WHIP. It looks like we made a good choice in bringing in David Stiffbottom. In 3 starts so far, has given up only 4 runs for a 2.0 ERA and a 0.94 WHIP, which is really nice. Already caught up to Coyle Marshall, who has the same amount of strikeouts in 2 less games, but pretty much the same innings pitched. So the starting rotation could look better, but we'll have to figure that out as we go. I think Coyle is going to be a development, so I'm okay that he's not doing that well. I wish Cecil was doing better, but Dieguez needs to do better, and Stiff Bottom happy with what we're seeing from him so far. In the bullpen, this just looks awful. We have four position players who have all appeared in a game to pitch, which is not what you'd like to see. We see Kendrick Herr, who is our best pitcher at 4.33 ERA, 27 innings pitched out of her so far, and 13 earned runs. I think at this point she's just kind of like exhausted from all the times that she's being asked to pitch. The rest of the bullpen isn't looking much better, with Withers Hansen being statistically our best pitcher, even though he's pitched less than Kendrick Herr. So not looking good for the team. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of sim us up to our first game against the Rockford Rivets. So we have one more against the Miami Moonstars, two against the Okinawa Overdogs, two against the Hermosillo Herbivores, and then the Osaka Originators. So we're going out of the country for a little while. We're going to come back to face off against the Rockford Rivets. So let's go ahead and see 2, 4, 6, 7 games that we're going to sim. We'll see how those go. So currently 8-12. After 7 games, we win 2. So we go 2-5 in that stretch. And our team just keeps getting worse and worse. So things are not looking great. I might even opt to stop watching some of these games, but I was hoping to at least watch one game versus each division rival. But that's where I'm going to leave this video today, guys. So we end through 27 games. We're currently 10-17. Really, really rough record. If you take a look at the wild card, we are the 3rd worst team in all of baseball right now. So it's not looking good for us. We do have some plans to make some adjustments. And if we go ahead and peek over at the, I guess before I let you all go, sorry, false alarm. We're going to go ahead and take a look and see what valuation looks like. And Willie is down to 8.6 million compared to the 8.4 value. I think this is worth making the change. And let me take a look at my notes. My plan was to have Willie Randolph replace Camden Gilmore. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and make that decision now. So here comes Willie Randolph replacing Camden Gilmore. Both are crafty, so this is not going to negatively impact us. We're going to see a huge increase in speed and contact, a slight increase on our arm, slight downgrade in fielding and power, but I think we have enough power to offset that. And then we'll have, of course, another contact versus left-handed trait activated here at max. So we're seeing a lot of left-handed specialists on our team, but nothing against those righties. Maybe that's our downfall. But we're going to go ahead and make this decision. It is a slight increase to the current salary, which means that our surplus goes down, but it's worth it. And I think that we're going to see it all play out pretty well towards the end of the season, but we'll still be able to make some development as we go. The next one we're going to be keeping an eye on, who's going to be getting close to that point where we can sign them, will be Cash Basket, who's getting closer, now down to 1.3 million over their value. If anyone sees something here, I know you see a lot of players that you don't recognize, but if you see anything that stands out, I'll go ahead and peek at my team again real quick, that maybe you would identify as we need to fix. Definitely let me know. We're going to first finish by just kind of peeking through what has happened since our simmed games. So Justin Morneau has development. I'd like to take advantage of that. Coyle Marshall, who we want to develop, now has the chance to take clutch as a trait, which we would love to see, especially with that workhorse trait that they already have. Marv Knockmore loses power, doesn't matter. And then we see our transaction for Willie Randolph to come in to replace Camden Gilmore. All right, we'll finish with player development, and then we'll call it a day. We have more than enough to make the decisions we want to make here, so I'm going to go ahead and increase this one for Justin Morneau. Arm is not that big of a deal for first base, but never hurts, especially when we get a chance for an increase in power. So I will go ahead and do this one. And can we get the extra arm? We do not. So +5 for the loyalty there. Justin Morneau doesn't really do much, but we'll take it. And I really want to. I don't know how we missed that one. We're not going to do this for Dawn. I do like the stimulated trait, but it would be a 10% chance that it would kick in, which doesn't do much. And she is 31, so might pass. I'll think about that one. This one for sure, I want to activate. So let's go ahead and see if Coil can get that extra junk, and what would be even better is if we can get this clutch trait. So let's cross our fingers. We do not see the +5 junk. We do not see that clutch trait. That's a bummer. Their loyalty's already looking really rough, but we just increased it a little bit, and that stinks. All right, well, let me know if you think we should get this trait for, or do this player development opportunity for Don Guevara. I don't know how long we'll keep her on the team, but stimulated is a good trait for a relief pitcher. So keep me posted on that in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Looking forward to seeing you all next time, and we'll talk to you later. Bye, everyone.